motherhood, and it's always rich conversation on this platform. And today we are celebrating our daddy and mommy Ore. They recently celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. And we thought it's very important to have older people who had gone through this journey come online to share with us. So I want to welcome everybody once again to the August edition of Family Meeting. Before we go into the program, I want to ask that we come into the chat session. I want us to introduce ourselves, and please tell me where you're joining in from. Why we do that, we expect that other people will join in because we're expecting about 70 people for this meeting. And so I want you to drop in the chat box your name and where you're joining in from. Are you joining in from Lagos, Nigeria, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Manchester, Toronto, Washington, D.C., wherever you're joining in from, while the admin still go ahead to play the music. Please remember also to share this link to your families and friends. Admin, please play the music while we welcome one another in the chat box. Introduce yourself and let me know where you're joining in from so that I can welcome you individually. Thank you, Mavi. Thank you. Mavi is joining in from Lagos. Mavi Okoro, nice having you on the show again. Thank you. Adetutu is joining from Ikorodu. Okay. Hi, Korede. Korede is the person behind this big opportunity. And I say thank you very much, Korede, for this great opportunity you've given me into your family. I truly celebrate you. Ini is joining from Uyo. Who else? Who else? I have Bimbo Ladoku. Bimbo, where are you joining in from? Lade and Tosin from Toronto. Thank you for joining. Joko Timi Garba from Badagry. Thank you. Thank you. Amala Chukwu is joining from Anambra. Thank you so much. Lolu is joining from Lagos. Yes, yes, yes. I want to see more people at Ja Lagos. Thank you, Ebele, for joining. Allow me from Lagos. I can do that. Admin, can you please play the music? While we welcome one another. Pauline from Kenya, Vivian from Lagos, Oladimeji Busayo from Port Harcourt. I have Buki from Lekki Phase 1. Elisha is joining from Osun State. Ronke Lighton from Ilorin, Kwara State. It's a full house, and that is why it is family meeting. Please call your friends and loved ones and let them know we are live. I have Arit from Port Harcourt. Isis, thank you for always joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Who else? Who else? I have Olabimpe from Oyo State, Amaka from Lagos. Thank you very much for joining, Amaka. Okay. Who else? Who else is joining? Okay, so I think we can move on so that we don't waste much of our time. We all know that Captain and Mrs. Ore, they are elderly state people in the midst today, and there's the tendency that, of course, we have to release them so that they can sleep early. I have Funke from Republic of Benin. Thank you everyone for joining. So sometimes in the month of August, Korede put up a post celebrating her parents for their 50th wedding anniversary. Please, if that wedding is older than you, please celebrate this couple in the chat box. I want to see you celebrate like 50. And I got curious that it's not as if I've not seen things like that, but we see people in bitterness, people not talking to one another again. Yes, let's keep the fire coming. And I chatted, okay, so it was Nathaniel Adegoke that shared Korede's post. And Nathaniel said something like, the grass is green on the other side because some people watered it. And that reading that post that Korede made brought tears to his eyes. And I took time to also process that. Considering all the things we see on social media these days about marriage, I work in the counseling space and I work with quite a long number of young people. And the question is always that, are we sure marriages work? So we have different mindsets, we have different ideas about marriage these days. And of course, we all know that on social media, we have a lot of negativity around marriage online. And so it's difficult to even encourage young people to say, get married. We have people saying they don't want to. I have worked with, we call them lesbian in those days. I don't know what they call them now. And what they said is, see, there's no point struggling with one man. Let me just, is female. We'll know ourselves and it is easier for us to cope. It's easier for us to manage the relationship. So a lot of dynamics, a lot of things are happening that we call marriage these days. And if we're going to be true with ourselves, I'm sure we also see it. And we see it on social media. But you see, Nathaniel wrote that it is high time we have older people come online to share their journey, to share their story, so that people will know that it takes intentionality, it takes determination to build a home. These days we see 1 week, 2 months, people just say, no, I can't cope, I can't deal, and they will just go. And this is the reason why I have Daddy and Mommy Ore in the room. Admin, please spotlight our guests. And I will be reading their profile. Admin, I can't see the spotlight. And I will read their profile. First of all, Korede is in the room. So let me say hello to Korede. Korede, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. So that is Korede. She introduced me to Daddy and Mommy, and I spoke with them last week. Amazing couple. And Korede is also an amazing personality. You know that she was raised by an amazing couple. Thank you so much for this privilege, Korede. I truly celebrate you for your generosity, for sharing Daddy and Mommy with us this evening. Okay, so I have Daddy and Mommy, so Captain and Mrs. Ore in the room. Admin, I want you to spotlight them. Have you done that? I'm still seeing them in the gallery, actually. Okay, so I have Captain and Mrs. Ore in the house. I'm going to read Mrs. Maria Iyabode Ore's profile. Mrs. Maria Iyabode Ore ní Bashorun, was born in Lagos on October 1st, 1951. Independence baby. Oh, wow. She attended Union Baptist School, Lagos Island, for her elementary education, and Nigerian People High School, Ebute Metta, for her secondary school education. After acquiring various trainings in accounting and receptionist duties, she started work at All Transport Nigeria Limited, a clearing and forwarding company. She later worked for Federal Ministry of Works at Agbara, and later in the then Lagos toll gate. Mrs. Maria Ore later joined United Bank for Africa, that's UBA, where she worked for several years before her retirement. She got married on August 3rd, 1974, and she is blessed with 5 kids. Admin, I was expecting you to please project the beautiful family picture. Now, Captain Joel Adewale Ore, I call with respect, sir, was born in October, really? October 22nd, 1947. He attended Edward Blyden Memorial Primary School, Soundgroves, Lagos, and Sim Primary School, Igbaja, for his elementary school, while he completed his secondary education at Ijebu-Ode Grammar School. In 1968, he worked briefly with Department of Customs and Excise before proceeding to the USA, where he trained as a pilot. He flew for some few years with Nigerian-based American company, Arax Airlines, before joining Federal Ministry of Aviation, flying VIPs within and outside Nigeria before his retirement in 2005. He later worked as a contract officer as a flight instructor at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, before he finally quit flying. He got married to his wife on the 3rd of August, 1974, and the union is blessed with 5 children. Ladies and gentlemen, I was expecting to see the chat session buzzing as I read the profile. What's happening? Like October, maybe that's the reason why there is a synergy. They're going to give us the gist. Maybe that's why we have the synergy. Good evening, Daddy and Mommy, and thank you for joining us. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to family meeting.
Thank you
very much. Yes, Daddy, do you have something to tell us before we start with our questions?
Well, it's a pleasure, by the grace of God, that I could attain 50 years of wedding with my lovely wife. It's not by doing, it's by the grace of God, and I enjoy His mercy all the time. I have to thank you very much, Mrs. Bulomo Fawole, for bringing up this program, not only to expose us on how to manage marriages, but to allow those who will be marrying soon or who are already in the marriage to gain one thing or the other from our own experience. May God continue to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Daddy. Thank you so much. And did you hear what Daddy said? He said they work towards making the marriage work. But some of us, we don't want to work. We don't want to put in the work at all. We are Indomie generation. We just want everything to be flowing and everything should just be automatic. So Daddy and Mommy are here. Daddy and mommy are here to let us know that if you want your marriage to work, marriage can be interesting, marriage can be sweet, but you need to put in the work. And that is why we are here today. Okay, so Daddy, the first question here, the two of you will respond to the question. And the first question is, can you tell us how you first met? And what initially drew you to each other?
Can you repeat that question louder?
Yes, sir. Can you tell us how the two of you met?
How two of you met?
And what drew you to each other?
Thank God for everything. We met each other in our church in Lagos Island, Equa Church, known as Equa Evangelical Church Winning All. We grew up together in the same environment. I was in the choir in that church. She later joined us as a very young girl in the choir at that time. And of course, our parents have known each other for some time. We both come. Our parents all come from Kwara, even though we all grew up in Lagos. That's how we met.
Hey,
Hello?
Daddy, did I hear you say mommy is from Kwara?
Mommy was born and bred in Lagos, but the parents are from Kwara. In fact, our villages are very close to each other.
Oh, wow.
Only that the parents, her parents and my parents, knew each other in the church, and they were both petty traders in Lagos Island.
What church can do and what choir can do.
Yes, you're very right.
How many of you met your spouse in the choir? If you met your spouse in the choir, let us hear. If you met your spouse in the choir, drop in the chat room, let us see. So that we'll tell the pastor that something is going on in the choir, and so the pastor should start taking notes. Okay, so mommy, what was that moment that made you know that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with daddy? What was that conviction? Did you do shakara for a bit, and at the long run, you just said, I think this is the person?
We met in the church and we were in the choir together.
Yeah.
I was very small, but it was my senior brother's friend, older brother's friend. Yeah. So we see all the time. And he was my crush. Yeah. I liked him because he's very smart, neat, and he likes doing akko. Younger. Let's making shakara. Flying is collar shirt. Polo. That was what attracted me to him.
Now, wow, mommy, were you born again that time?
Well, I was small. I was in the choir, As a small girl, when I see him, I just like him, the way he behaves. I won't say I was a born again because I was small. I knew nothing. I was just attracted to him.
It's amazing how you said you had crush on him. I thought crush is for our generation. I didn't know that this crush thing also existed. Mommy self crush. Oh, can you imagine? Hey, so daddy, she said she was always looking at you, your neatness, your smartness, your flying your collar. Did you notice this? Did you ever
Ah,
notice this?
I didn't even know somebody was watching me.
Oh,
I was not doing my own thing.
imagine. Daddy said I didn't even know. Her
Time
mommy was
because she was
crushing.
brave and being the leader of the second. What's the last question?
Sorry. Can you hear me? I think my network.
I can't hear you well. Can you repeat that question?
Okay, yeah, I was asking if you noticed the person that was crushing on you, and you already responded that you didn't even notice. But do you always go to their house, and you know that you will see one girl in the house that
That's very correct. But while going to their house, it wasn't in my mind. It's just to see my friend, the elder brother. It's not
hmm.
primarily because of fun at that time. I was
So how did you make the move? When did you start noticing her? Is that my network? Okay. Let me tell Atme.
very
I think Daddy and Mommy's network is fluctuating. Guys, please get your questions ready. I always say that our realities are different. So whatever question you want to ask them, how you think they can help you in your relationship, whatever it is you're going through, and you want to tap their brain. There are times that this kind of people can stand as father figure, mother figures for us, and you might want to take advantage of that. So I want us to get ready our questions so that we can ask our questions directly.
okay.
This network should not try. What's all this now? Okay, so Daddy, the question was that how did you now notice and how did you make the move? How did you
Well,
not make the move? So the reason why I'm asking this question is we have a lot of people meeting themselves in church, brother, sister, falling in love, and all that. And by the time they get married, they just discover that things are not working. We're still going to ask other questions, but this is to establish that, yeah, you can find your partner in the church and it can work. But you have to also put in the work. It's not because he's a church person or because she's a church person. That's not a guarantee. So we just want to lay the foundation to understand the journey, and then we start building on the conversation. So how did you toast her? And I know that Mommy was already having crush.
by the time she was having the crush, I never noticed anything, sincerely speaking. But I had it in mind that one day I would stay with her. As I told you, we were relatively young that time, and I was besieged by so many guys, good and bad, whatever, Muslims and Christians and whatever. But it took me a long time before I could decide. And then I later picked up courage and looked for a hand of friendship.
Lolu,
Lolu,
Okay, Daddy has finished talking.
But it's not
I'm
showing the
actually
system.
trying to change my laptop here. Admin, please
Ah,
spotlight this new
That's your ability,
laptop
bro.
I'm joining with. Okay. Do I still have Daddy and Mommy? Can you hear me?
yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm trying to read what we have. Ebele Ayedeji said, I met my husband in the church during Sunday school. Some people are making jests of you. You're talking about the crush. Somebody said, Mommy self, they crush. Oh. This crush thing is Arugbo Ojo. Me self go celebrate 50 years in marriage. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Nathaniel, I say amen. That is your desire. You will definitely do. Okay. Okay, Judge says common backgrounds, both Christian, same church, both in the same department, villages close to each other, parents knew each other, they grew up together. Does this mean this commonalities is one of your key success factors? So that's the question now. Is it because you did all these things together? Is that the reason why you're able to grow together in this marriage?
Maybe a contributing factor, but the fact remains that at that time, I didn't even know what marriage is. Talk less of
Hmm.
giving a go ahead. But definitely in my mind, I like her. I didn't even show it. So it was in the future I realized that togetherness, especially with the family, and then my friendship with the senior brother, contributed in no small way for the marriage.
Awesome. Awesome. Daddy, do you want to share? So it's contributed to it. In what way? Is it that it's like a checker for you? Was it you don't want to disappoint them? Or what? What happened?
What happened where?
No, you said it contributed, the
Yeah.
commonalities
Yes.
contributed to how you were able to uphold the marital vow and how you're
Yes.
able to live together up to this moment.
That's
So my
right.
question is, in what way did it contribute? Is it that it was a checker for you? Was it always making you feel conscious of it that no, I must not disappoint this family? Or oh, my friend, you mentioned it that oh, she's my friend's sister. You don't want to disappoint your sister, or how did it contribute to that?
Even though I was young, I used to be a ladies' man, and I was surrounded with so many of them without knowing what is even going on. But because we have similar background and our parents were friends and members of the same church, the interaction became exposed. And I feel culturally it helped during the course of the marriage.
Thank you, Daddy, for your vulnerability. A lot of men will not say this. Daddy said he was a man, woman, ladies' man. Like
Yes.
he had a lot of them around him, right? And I can imagine when mommy, even as a young girl, the reason why she was crushing your neatness, your smartness, that's obviously attracted those ladies to you, isn't it? So, mommy, I want to throw this question to you now. How did you cope with all the girls around? He just said it. I had a lot of them, but the culture, the background, and everything was a checker. But for the woman in the house, it's not usually very easy. How did you cope? Are you the fighting type or the keeping quiet type?
I'm not the fighting type. Uh, I know, I know what he is doing. I just kept my cool. I don't have to fight. I love him and I trust him. He has friends. I know one day it's going to be mine. So I didn't fight anybody. I didn't fight the ladies. I knew them.
I mean, you knew the girls.
Yes, I knew some of them.
Some of them, not all.
Yes,
I knew some of
born
them.
of an ego.
Wow. Wow.
But I didn't mind.
You didn't mind, mommy.
Yes.
Hmm. It's so hard to swallow for me. How many of us, guys, are you listening? Are we listening to what, are you listening to what grandma is saying? You know that our generation were like, we cannot take what our mommies took. We cannot stand it. And this is one of the reasons why we have a lot of broken homes right now. And honestly, we need to learn from people like you. And this is the reason why we are here. So I want to, that's, you didn't mind. It's still doing me one kind. So how were you responding or reacting in the house?
This was before we got married, not after we got married. It was before we got married. He was still in
Okay.
school. I was in school. All these things stopped when we got married.
Right. And the total commitment came in after you got
Yes,
married.
yes.
So, Daddy, how did you drop all those girls now? Did they stop showing up?
I didn't promise them anything. They were just running after a nice guy, the handsome chakara guy. Not that I promised them anything. And in all honesty, I didn't even know anything about sex that time. So there was no connection, no mutual connection that they just like this guy. And that's how I'm behaving. But by the time I made promise to my wife that I am going to be your future husband, many of them knew and they disappeared on their own. Some of them didn't disappear, they were still thinking I would change my mind. But as God will have it, that's where we are today.
Hmm. How many men do we have in this house? I hope you are listening to Daddy. Daddy kept saying something, and he has said it like 2 or 3 times. He said he didn't know anything about marriage. He was just being himself. He was just living his life. And those girls kept flocking around. But when he entered into the full relationship, like marriage time, he decided to stay away. I hope you are taking notes. I hope we are taking notes. So I have a question here, and the question says, what do you believe is the key to a long and happy marriage? What do you believe is the key to a long and happy marriage? What are the contributing factors to a long and lasting marriage?
Okay? By the special grace of God, I can say my marriage is successful. To have a successful marriage, the wife must be able to forgive the foolishness of the husband, while the husband must be able to ignore the stupidity of the wife. They are weak vessels. Women are so weak that if you consider their weakness, you wouldn't marry. Remember in the Bible, they were the first to meet Satan, and they were the only creature of God not made from sand. So their behavior is somehow. But then by the special grace of God and through the knowledge of God, my own mother was a woman. So we have no choice than to accept that their weaker vessels and their necessary evil to be done with.
Forgive the foolishness of the husband. Forgive the stupidity.
Ignore. I don't say forgive for
Ignore the
stupidity
stupidity
of the wife.
of the wife.
Yes.
Forgive the foolishness. That means that you are agreeing at times that men can act foolish.
Yes.
And ignore the stupidity
Of the wife.
Daddy, can you please break those words down? They are big and they have meaning. They are strong words you have used. And I think if we can understand this level of weakness within the man and the woman, understand it, accept it, forgive it, ignore it, it will help us. That is getting to a kind of awareness on the journey of marriage. Yes, I will allow you to talk, sir.
If you, I don't know whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, whatever be the case, if you know a little bit about the Bible, you discover that in the Old Testament, there are so many polygamies. Even Abraham, the father of faith, had more than one wife. Even if you go to the New Testament, apart from bishop or elders in the church, there is no place in the New Testament where it says anybody should marry one wife. What am I trying to drive at? By nature, women are polygamous by nature. It now depends. Men are polygamous by nature. Sorry. So it's now left for the man to consider: can I cope with this financially, socially, or whatever, to have more than one wife? And that is what is leading to promiscuity among the men. Although the mistake or the error can lead to another thing else, that's another thing entirely. And that is where I stand.
This is real life experiences we're sharing, guys. And we are not here to cajole you. We are not here to tell you it's going to be smooth all through. We're not here to tell you there are no bumps on the road. No, we're not here to tell you all that. This is reality. And I always say that this reality that he's talking about, they don't even talk about it in our religious organizations. Nobody will come on the altar to say, oh, men are polygamous in nature. And he was able to balance it. Did you notice when he said, yeah, men are polygamous in nature, but you now have to use your brain to say, is it sustainable? Should I continue? Will it work for me? Will it be able to stand the trouble it might eventually bring? And so while we are listening to Daddy and Mommy talk, please, let's listen and pick what's for us. Don't go out and say, oh, he said men are polygamous in nature, and that's what you're picking. He balanced it. And so I need us to pay attention to the learnings in this conversation. Thank you very much, Daddy. Thank you so much. So Daddy said, women should be forgiven. Women should be ready to forgive the foolishness. That foolishness that we see. Some people still sent a message to me this morning and they're like, if he's not wise enough and he cannot do something correctly for himself, that's his problem. I don't have that time. Daddy is saying, yeah, pay attention to that foolishness, but forgive it. Give grace to that foolishness. And men, Daddy is saying women can act stupidly. Yeah. He even said, yeah, they are the first one that saw the serpent. That's stupidity. That's one act of stupidity. You know, I will tell myself that when I get to heaven, I want to see Eve say, Can't you just take away your eye? What is that ojukokoro that led you to collecting that thing? It is the part of stupidity that he is talking about, right? And if we're able to get to that level of awareness and understanding in our journey of marriage, we'll be able to live a good life together. So thank you very much for that response. There's another question in fact, my questions, I'm leaving them. There's another question. Somebody said, how have you both managed to navigate the challenges, the discouragement, disagreement over the years? I know that you have captured it with those two words, forgiving and ignoring. But there are times that, did you experience those tough ones that was always almost taking you off guard? Those tough ones that, if our mommy could not take it. Mommy told us how she's a virtuous woman. But there are some realities that we find ourselves in and you'd be like, forget, I can't take it. I forgive you, but no, I'm not going to sleep in this room with you. Did you experience any of those challenges and how were you able to manage them, sir? Mommy, do you want to respond to that question?
There were ups and downs. We quarrel, we fight, not physical fight, but we quarrel. And as a woman, and I want peace in my house, I always apologize, whether I'm at fault or not. When he's annoyed, I will apologize. I always apologize. I found it easy to say I'm sorry. And I don't prolong the matter. I don't sleep over any quarrel. We iron it out.
Awesome. Hey, mommy is giving us all the virtuous woman skills. Mommy does not sleep over any quarrel. They iron it out immediately. If she is at fault, she still go ahead to apologize. Mommy, that's difficult. So I don't know. That can be difficult because this is part of the things that is causing trouble. How can I apologize to somebody that is wronging me, that is causing me so much pain, and you want me to still apologize? Daddy, how do you feel when mommy is apologizing at those times? You know that, yes, mommy is not at fault. So even you know in your mind, in your heart of hearts, that you are the one at fault. But she will come and she will say, my dear, okay, I'm sorry, oh, Emma Binu. Just because she wants peace. Whose peace? Go. Whose peace of mind? Go. Are we talking about? Yeah. So that when she's apologizing and all that, how do you feel?
There are 4 things that make in my mind last last. Number 1, you listen. That's L. Number 2, you apologize. That's A. The S there is you support morally, financially. Then the T there is you touch affectionately. Apart from believing in God, pray towards Him ceaselessly, and implore Him to guide you through the marriage life. Those are the last things that you should do to make a marriage last. So when she apologizes, because she can still apologize tomorrow, we are still alive anyway. She used to apologize in the past, she may still need to apologize tomorrow. Man will always be man. You see, in the Bible, book of Ephesians, chapter 5, I think verse 23 or whatever, says that the husband is the head. But the Bible does not tell us that the wife is the neck. And the neck can turn the head to anywhere. You understand what I mean, Mrs. Fawadi? You can turn the head to anywhere you please. But knowing that there are weaker vessels, the only thing is to adapt to their weaknesses and pray towards it so that things will not get out of hand. I know it takes two to make a wedding, but it only takes one person for the marriage to be a failure.
It takes one person. It takes two to tango, but it takes one person for a marriage to fail.
That's right.
Because that person can say, no, I'm not doing again. All the Christian Association of Nigeria pastors can call the person and beg. And the person will still say, this is what I want. And they can't force the person, right? Interesting. Daddy said, for you to make your marriage last, he also gave us the list. Last, the meaning, the acronym last means listen, apologize, support, and touch. Listen, apologize, support, and touch. That's, if you're not taking anything home today, please remember last. Listen, apologize, support, and touch. Listening, paying attention to the spoken and unspoken words. Very
Right.
important. Apologize. Either you are the one at wrong or not. Apologize. You know, when mommy said she's always the first person to apologize, even if she knows that she did not offend. Now we are celebrating them. And I don't want us to lose the essence of this conversation. Now we are celebrating them because the two of them have put in the work into making it work. I'm sure there are days of tears, there are days of anger, there are days that they will leave the house to say, because I don't want to just say things I don't want to say. Let me just leave and go. And he will go and maybe stay in a hotel or something or travel. Or mommy will say, I did not cook for you today. And so yeah, sit down. What happened? And they sort it because they are intentional about what they want. They're intentional about how they want their life to be. And this is the work that they have put into this 50 years of journey. Once again, I want to say congratulations, Sir and Ma. And it's amazing, all the stories. Because some of those things, it's not as if we don't know them. But it's usually very difficult. It's usually very difficult, especially for our generation. It's just hard to say, how will I be the one to apologize? How will I forgive this person for wronging me so much? I work with a group of divorced men and women, and by the time we sit down and we are talking about their journey, and I ask them, if you have this understanding that you have now about life, what would you have done differently? I've had a lot of them say that I wouldn't have broken my marriage. Maybe I would have waited a little. Maybe I would have been patient enough. And I always, when we come out here, I always say it that, guys, divorce is not always the solution. It's not the first option. It's even not an option. It's only an option when it's involving your life. If the person is beating you, abusing you physically, and it is going beyond normal. Otherwise, it is something we can work at. This is an example to say, if we can swallow our pride, if we can swallow our pain, to accept this person for who they are, if we can focus on our why did I marry this person? Why did I even go into marriage at all? If we can focus on that, then at the end, at the long run, we will rejoice. at the long run, we will celebrate, just like we are celebrating this amazing couple. Daddy kept saying something, and I'm saying this to call, I'm calling attention of every lady in the room. Daddy said something that, and I think I have also noticed that about quite a number of men, to say, see, we can be foolish, but you should learn to forgive us. We will make decisions that are not correct. But if you're there to support us, to listen to us, if you're there when we apologize, when we are vulnerable with you, you're not using those things against us. You're not talking about it and rubbing it in for us. If you're there to support us, to say, okay, my dear, you have made this terrible mistake, and I'm going to support you on this journey. If we can do that to our men, then we will laugh like this at the end of it. Is it going to be easy? No. They have said it. You know, mommy saying she apologizing even if she's not at fault. I'm sure you know it's a deep one. I'm sure you know it is not that kind of pain that she said and she's laughing. There are times she will apologize and she will cry. To say, but stop. Because I want this marriage to work. This is what we are celebrating today. The tears, the joy, the fight, the disagreement, the touch, daddy added touch, the forgiveness, the ignoring, the compromise is what we are celebrating today. And so, daddy, I want to, so I told me as if we are talking about the negative one. I want you to look back now, daddy and mommy. What are some of the most memorable moments? What are the most memorable moments in your 50 years together? What are the most memorable moments in your 50 years together? Mommy, do you want to respond to that question first? What are your most memorable? Mommy, I know that it is your work, or this marriage, even though daddy added to it, I know that it is your work. I want to take sides today. What are your most memorable moments?
When I first had my baby, my first daughter, that was
1976.
That was 1976. Because I waited for about 1.5 years before I could get pregnant. And I was very happy that I could have a baby. Then later, I lost the baby. After 1 year, I lost the baby. And another one, when my first son graduated in a university in the US. That's another moment for me. Then when I turned 70, I didn't know I could make it, but God did wonders. I was able to make 70.
Beautiful moments, beautiful moments. And thank God today you have 5 children.
Children, yes.
Now, living.
Children.
Graduates.
And they are all doing well.
All graduates.
And they are doing fine.
All graduates. And they are doing fine. I celebrate you. I celebrate you. Guys, please celebrate Daddy and Mommy. Mommy, congratulations on reaching 70. And you will see many more years. As your days have, so shall your strength be. Yes, and those children will continue to be your source of joy. Abraham Haman says, "We celebrate you, daddy and mommy." BC said, "Communication is in a marriage is very important. It's very key. Without ease of communication, it is difficult to iron anything out. Listen to each other, apologize for peace sake, support to build on each other's mistakes, touch to celebrate way forward." Beautiful. I love that write up. BC, thank you so much. Um, Buki said, "I love mommy and daddy uncle." I was going to talk about the uncle. Look at the uncle. The t-shirt, the face cap, and I think it's for the celebration, the 50th, because I
Yes.
see 50,
Yes.
I see 50 indeed. Life is indeed full of ups and downs, but if we are persistent, if we persevere, and we are intentional about the things we do, at the end, at the long run, it will pay off. Thank you very much for sharing this moment. Thank you very much. So, going into our cultural and societal influences now, I know that you have same commonalities, like you grew up together, parents are friends, you attended the same church. How did the Nigerian culture and tradition play a role? How did the culture and tradition play a role? I know that it went to the US at some point, so I'm sure you have the Western world ideology. How did you match it with the local, um, our traditional way, our culture? How did it play a role in shaping your relationship?
Glory be to God. In Yoruba culture, we get somebody who is conversant with the parents of the wife, Alarino, who will talk to the family of the wife on your behalf that you are seeking their daughter's hand in marriage. It's a very, very nice thing. You just don't pick your wife anywhere because you are not married because of children. You can have children without marriage. You are not married because of sex. You can have sex without marriage. Mutual understanding, love, um, patience, and endurance. Those are the basic things. Apart from fear of God, doing the God's will. So, in the culture, because if we had a misunderstanding, I could remember an instance when we had a misunderstanding. The father had to call me to his house, and I went there, and he just told me the secrets of life, and that I should not forget the past. He told me about weaknesses of men, of women. He explained to me that women always worry about what men forget, and men will be worried about what women remember. So I had to keep that on my mind. And besides that, it is very obvious, as Socrates would say, that men love their wife through their eyes, while the women love their husband through their ears. In other words, men are sensitive. I want a slim guy, I want a light complexion guy, and so on and so forth, not minding the culture. Women don't worry. Once you tell them what they want to hear, that is all. Whether you are telling them truth or not, or what they hear. And that is why most of these marriages don't last. Men are so fast with it, they know their intention. Even before they met the lady, they may not even have any intention of marrying her at all. Just an infatuation. But then, where the culture is involved, you think twice. How will I feel in the presence of my parents to disappoint them after marrying somebody's daughter? The respect will be there, how to honor the husband, how to prepare the food as at when due. All those things are very important. It's not common nowadays. I was watching a film yesterday where the wife was telling the husband to go and cook. If you are hungry, go and cook your food. It's not common in my own time. You know, my own time, without you eating, the wife is not comfortable. So part of our culture and tradition make all these things very easy and stable more than the present situation in the country.
Wow. I love that Alarino part that you brought into it, Daddy, because I remember growing up to my parents used to talk about this that in those days, somebody would be the in-between to say that family, this is what you expect from them, this is what they do, and all that. They do investigation before you release your children. But this one that you just go and before you know it, your daughter is bringing a stranger, and all they do is give you a notice. You don't even know the family. They only come on the day of engagement, and you don't even know the family that your children or your son or your daughter is marrying to. You know, these are part of the things, and I know that quite a number of us online here, we got married to people that our family did not really know. And so the first part of the things, part of experiences you had is just like a culture shock. But you see, with your culture shock, always remember your why. Daddy has said a lot of things. Um, he says something about the advice that his father-in-law. Imagine you going to meet your father-in-law. How many of the guys these days will a father-in-law call and they will answer? We don't even want, what does he want? What does he have to tell me? Right? That's the category of men we have now. And even for the women, somebody said I should not take side. So I'm not taking side. That even for the women, we need to, that means daddy has somebody that he respects, that even if he does something and mommy goes to report and they say, oh yeah, come here, he will go. Unlike the kind of men, some of the men, yeah, let me use the word, don't let me generalize. Some of our men now. So if you're single and you're on this call, you want to marry somebody who is answerable to somebody that when they call him or when they call her, he or she is answerable to them. Somebody that you both respect. You can get a coach. The life is actually evolving. We're exposed to different kind of things now. And I want us to pay attention to all these nuggets. This nugget has sustained their marriage. You might see some of them as old school, but the truth is this nugget has helped this marriage. And it is to say that marriages can work if we are both committed to making it work.
Right?
One of the advice was also that women worry about what men forget. And that's
Yes.
true. When you said that, I was thinking about it. Women worry about when, men, they are quick to just let some things go and they are forgotten it. But we are just worrying about it and we're like, are you still on that topic? Yeah, I've moved though. Like, why are you still there? And you see, and men worry about what women remember. Like, true. What's on your mind now? Oh God, this woman is still remembering that thing. Really? You have not even forgotten. Why are you stressing yourself? Why are you stressing yourself about this thing? What's it law now? Let it go. And that is the way, you see, men and women, we process things differently. And the sooner we understand this factor, the better for us. Please, your husband is not the worst person. Your wife is not a bad person. The truth of the matter is there's no bad marriage anywhere. We just have two individuals who are not empowered with the right information. And if you have the right information, you have the right understanding about life, you have the right understanding about relating with your partner, then life is easier. I'm sure some of us, we are taking note of some of the things that is being discussed here. Some of the things that this daddy and mommy are talking about here. You're thinking about it because some of you have experienced it in your marriage. And those times you said, no, I cannot agree. Who is he? No. Daddy just cited an example. the woman will be worried that, hey, my husband has not eaten. But our own generation, anybody that wants to eat should go to the kitchen or
Go to your kitchen.
anybody anybody that must eat must know how to cook. That is our method, right? But there's a way we can blend it without making the other person feel bad. There's a way we can live our life in that way without hurting one another. And this is what Daddy and Mommy are telling us. Listen, apologize, support, and crown it with touch. That touch is assuring. Don't ignore. Don't just push your partner away. And for everyone whose marriage is going through a difficult time, I want to say that it is a phase and it will pass. At this point, I will also want to say that if you know that your marriage is going through the trying times, difficult times, you might want to do a marital checkup. And this we do in our organization. I'll ask that the admin drop the link if you want to have your marriage checked up, if you want us to uh, help the two of you work on your marriage. We have quite a number of counselors that we work with. And before we even hand you over to any counselor, we have an assessment. We call the assessment Oyela. Oyela is a Yoruba word that means revelation. You know, when Babalawos are doing their Ifa, they say Oyela. And that is what the assessment does. The assessment, without us asking you any question, you just answer the questions. By the time you fill in the assessment, you have the results. The results will tell us everything. Even you will see. It will show you everything that is happening in your relationship. So admin, could you please drop the link if you have anybody who is interested? Because some of the things we do after having a meeting like this, we have people call in for assistance. We have people call in for counseling sessions because their marriages are not in a good place. If you want to have a relationship that will last long, like we have for Captain and Mrs. Ore, please feel free to reach us to us. I'll be waiting for the admin to drop the link. And while we do that, I will also want to ask for the questions as we will be rounding up. And the question is, what are the values? Daddy, I saw that. Admin, I don't know, you still have the picture. Admin, do you still have the picture? Please, I want you to display the family picture. Beautiful family picture. If this couple can raise 5 children and they do not cause trouble, and Daddy said they are doing well. Did you see how he said it? He said 5 of them are graduates and they are doing well. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I celebrate you. And so I want to ask, how did you support? What are the values? What values did you prioritize in raising your family? And how have those values impacted your children? What are the values you run your marriage by? And how has those values impacted your children?
Thank you very much for that question. I was raised by predominantly illiterate parents. In fact, my mother, before she died, would not be able to write correct O, letter O, with a wet bottle, round wet bottle. My father was slightly trying, but being brought up from that, and now see that even with the trade, with your buying and selling trade in Lagos, your son could become a pilot. It's a lot. In other words, my value to my children, firstly, is education. I don't mind. I can't remember how many times I decided to not to buy things, not to buy, just to ensure that my children have this education. And that was the major thing which I imbibed on all my children. And I'm very, very happy about the outcome today. Besides moral, nowadays most children are lacking morals. They are immoral. they can be very, very, very dangerous in everything in life. So once they have education and morals to respect the elders, to know when to say yes to things and when to say no to things, and to know when to carry out certain responsibilities for the parents, I think those are the major basic things, the value that I enshrine in my children. And I'm happy that I didn't fail in that respect. You know, life and time, they are our greatest teachers. Life will teach us to know the value of time, and time will teach us the value of life. If you have those things and you are bringing your children up to that level, you will never, never regret it. Even your children will be learning from it as they grow up.
Education. Daddy is saying education is important. Daddy, but I'm going to ask, we have a lot of educated men and women who are not really behaving well. Are you saying education is paramount, which of course I understand, but we have quite a number of educated people that are misbehaving outside. What do you think might be the issue to that? What do you think might be the problem?
It's not going to the university that you are calling education. When you get a university degree, it's to train your mind to think. It's not necessarily because you want to work with it and get car loan, get house and whatever. And besides the education in university, the morals being taught by home, at home, by the wife or the father, by the mother and the father, will go a long way to prepare the children for their future endeavors. It's not necessarily the big university. And that's where the question of culture comes in again. You are brought over the culture and train your children how to do this and do that. By the time they are even adding that value into their education, it goes a long way to help them in their life.
Thank you, Daddy. Mommy, do you want to respond to that question? Reading Daddy's profile, Daddy traveled a lot, was flying and all that. So you were at home with the children. What was it like? What was it like?
At times we travel together.
Oh,
Yes, most of the time we travel together. Um,
okay.
and when I'm around the children, I I do my best in their education, in teaching them, helping
Yes.
them in their own work. At home when they were small, I work.
Okay.
Not that I'm always at home. I work, leave home around 6, come back 9 at times. No, I work with UBA.
That's true. You worked in the bank. That's true. I
Yeah.
read that. Yeah, that's true. So my question now will be that, so how did you manage raising of those children? Do you had people living with you? How did you do it? And how did you manage that relationship such that if you had people living with you, such that um, they didn't influence the children negatively away from the way you want to raise them, away from the moral values that you were instilling in these children.
When we were young, my mother-in-law was living very
Close.
close to our house. I had a house help. The house help would go to my mother-in-law's house and stay there till I come back from work. When they were small, I don't usually leave them with the house help.
Wow, mommy, what was your relationship like with your mother-in-law?
Good, good.
Awesome. Hey, you're not that kind of Yahoo that will say, children will not. No, my children will not go to that. I cannot relate to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a witch. They're not that kind of. You know, we have young girls saying they are praying serious prayers that they will not meet their mother-in-law at home. Like
My
the mother-in-law
mother-in-law
is
was
that
very good
before
to
they get
me.
there. Hmm.
She was very good to me. She took care of me. Maybe because my mother-in-law and my mom were friends. They were friends because we attended the same church together. It was very good, very, very supportive.
Interesting. Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for raising amazing children. Do I have any questions? Chat. Yeah, morals taught by parents, both the father and the mother. This is where the collaboration comes in. If we have one voice, we raise our children with one voice, we'll have joy over them, even at our old age. I was looking at the picture. The admin is not on this call. I don't know what happened. I saw the pictures. I saw Korede giving the lowdown of you guys going to, I think, Benin Republic, and I could see the bond, the happiness. This is what we covet, and we celebrate you. Thank you for being good examples. Thank you for being role models that we can see, and very encouraging to say that if we are determined, then we can have beautiful relationship, and our old age will be beautiful, because that's the best. Old age is when we need that companionship most. And for your age, you can see that their mommy glowing, because this is their time to enjoy the labor of love. Now they are enjoying it. So someone is asking, please, what is their advice for couples parenting apart, where the husband is working in one state and his family in another state? What advice? The husband is working in another state, the family is in another state. What advice do you have for this couple?
The husband must be disciplined enough if he's not in the place where the wife is. You know, the what do you call it? You need patience, endurance, and long suffering to make a solid foundation. I could remember a friend when Abuja became the capital of Nigeria. The husband was transferred to Abuja, the wife was in Lagos. The marriage broke down completely because of that separation. But where there is love and there is patience and understanding, I think it will work. Because the major thing is the value of their love. Value not valued is not valuable. So they should be able to know their limits. I can understand that, as Socrates would say, man loves lady with the eyes, while the lady loves man with the ears, as I said earlier on. The separation can cause so many temptations. You cannot avoid temptation. You can allow a bird to fly over your head. You won't allow the bird to shit on your head. Just try to avoid temptation. Be self-disciplined sexually and morally. It's just like somebody who's a drunkard. No matter the love the fellow has with the wife, if he's a drunkard, fall into gutter today and fall in tomorrow, to make the wife happy is not easy. I think I was a victim of that thing before, and I didn't realize at that time. It's a lesson to the upcoming people who are married or who are intending to marry. Discipline. is one of the key factors that can make a marriage last.
Discipline, discipline. Daddy, a lot of people like to be disciplined, but they are just finding it difficult to be disciplined. What do you advise?
Find it difficult to be disciplined?
Some people will just, they would love to be disciplined.
Hmm.
So it's difficult.
I am not claiming to be a saint. I was in that shoe before. In fact, considering my life and the background, because before I went for further training in the US, I was loose, very, very loose. If I were the presence of my wife, I wouldn't be celebrating 50th wedding anniversary today. As I grew up older, I continue to realize there is no joy in being disciplined, in being a drunkard, a smoker, a flirt all over the place. I realized very, very late, but she's a woman of value. And as I said, value not valued, it's not valuable. I value her because of her patience, because of her understanding. Let me tell you, if there is endurance, immediately you have a problem and the wife is cooperating with you, you will succeed. Endurance is having difficult time. Maybe the salary is not enough today, you are not eating very well, and she's coping with it. And when you say long suffering, you are referring to people. For example, in my uncle's house where we started our wedding, there are so many oppositions as to her. But with endurance, with patience, we could surmount those problems as at that time. So generally, self-discipline matters a lot in every sphere of human endeavor.
Wow. Daddy said there was a time he was loose, but mommy's patience, long suffering, endurance. Did you hear what she said? She said, I'll celebrate her. Because of her, we are celebrating this 50. Right? Mommy will celebrate you. Thank you so much for being a role model to women like us. Thank you so much. I said something at the course of this event that I want to imagine that it has not been easy, but you had remained steadfast. You had remained patient. And Daddy is celebrating you also today. Daddy is attesting to the fact that you were patient. And I want you to, Buki said, Obìnrin ló ń di ilé mú. Women keep it together.
Yes.
It might be difficult to accept, but that is the truth. Either we like it or not. Now we are celebrating her. The children are around the table calling her blessed. Obìnrin ló ń di ilé mú. Thank you very much, Mommy. I'm sure you are the happiest person today because Daddy is saying it. And Daddy said something that the early days of marriage, some people did not even agree to the marriage. And time is going, I would have said, oh, Daddy, please gist us. So how did you manage that situation? How did you manage? I see he's such a quiet person. He's not really saying much. And Daddy has been so vulnerable. We want men. Daddy, men are coming out to talk. I don't know. How can we get men that will come out to talk and share? We are not judging men. We are not condemning men. But somehow men feel they will condemn us. They will judge us. And they don't come out to say all these things. I believe if our younger men get to hear things like this, they will also be ready to make their marriages work and to make their home work and to, at the end of the day, endure with the wife of their youth. Daddy, how did you manage that situation when nobody was ready to agree to the marriage? How did you handle it?
Well, that's a nice question. Even in this picture, you see that my wife is slightly bulkier than me.
The clothes size.
She's fatter than me. But am I married because of fatness? Am I married because of beauty? Beauty will assist you in getting to marriage. But attitude, because of attitude, the beauty may not be anything. What do I mean by attitude? Forgiveness, patience, endurance, anger, anger maintenance. What do I call being less angry, anger management. All those things are very essential. It's not the beauty. Beauty will not take you to anywhere. As you grow old, the beauty will grow. But if I remember the character that is putting up, I will I will service with him, with her, with her in the house.
Okay, now there's this question I want to ask. So one of the things that younger people complain about is we say that the woman should be this, the woman. So that's why is the man not doing that too? Why are they expecting that the woman should be the one to do it? And so this is part of the reasons why some women are just saying, no, no way, no way, we can't be patient
Yes.
again. We don't want to go through, we don't want to do what our parents does. We don't want to do what our mothers suffered. We don't want to suffer what our mothers suffer. Yes. So, and this ideology is actually breaking homes. What advice do you want to give to the men in the room? We have quite a number of married men in the room too. What advice do you want to give to the men? You have said it in answering the questions, in responding to the question somebody asked, that they should be patient, they should be intentional, they should care about their marriage, and that means they should be going home, checking on their partners, calling, putting systems and structure in place to ensure that there is a bond between them when they are not around. But what other advice do you want to give? Women, the truth is, women are tired of this patience,
Well,
endurance,
whether you
and
are a
long.
Muslim or a Christian,
She's all right.
Please go ahead, Daddy. Go ahead.
okay, yes, it's breaking here. Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian or even an atheist, the very first thing that is necessary in a successful marriage is you draw near to God. I don't care the name you call him, Orisha, or Datala, or whatever. And you are a Muslim, you call Allah, and Christian calls Jesus Christ. Yes, but don't be religious, be godly. Once you are godly, most of the things that have been studied in the religious aspect will come into place. There is no way that a marriage can last without endurance, as I said, without long suffering, and without patience. But if you are godly, you pray to God every time, and you are doing a switch marriage, right from the world self. And as I said, don't forget that if you are going to marry, you are going to marry a woman. And women can be very, very dangerous. As I said earlier on, unfortunately, or in the knowledge of God Almighty, my mother is a woman. So I have no choice. It's as if you are being given something, whether you like it or not, you have to do it. If it's God that gives you, how can I complain? So once you know you cannot adapt to their weaknesses, it's better you don't marry at all. Because whether or not you like it, you are going to meet with difficulties with the woman. Especially, in fact, the first 3 years is a very, very trying period in the wedding. Once it lasts beyond 3, 4, 5 years, you are sure of making it again. By that time, you realize her weaknesses. Remember, the background of the wife is different from the background of the husband. In my own case, it is a fair one because we are both Yoruba and we are both from Kwara State. Our parents are both from Kwara State and we grew up together. But imagine a Yoruba marrying Igbo or Hausa marrying Yoruba. things are a bit difficult at the initial stage. But with patience, endurance, and long suffering, and you pray, I think it will be successful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Daddy. And I see people saying thank you for your um, vulnerability. Thank you for sharing all those deep things with us. Thank you so much. Mommy, I want you to speak to the women in the room. In fact, somebody is already asking, how long should a woman tolerate all the shenanigans? How long should a woman tolerate all these things from the men forever? Like, you have been able to do it. What do you think? Do you think we should tolerate it? That is celebrating your patience and long suffering. These men of these days, they can take advantage of this patience. So I want you to speak to the women in the house.
We
What can we
women,
do?
we women should try to tolerate our men. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to tolerate them. I've been doing it since I married him, and we quarrel, we settle. We quarrel, we settle till this time. We have to tolerate each other. Pray to God. Be in one accord. Pray to God. Pray together. Do things together. Show love. That's my slogan. Show love. It's my slogan with my children. Always show love. Tell him you love him. Eat together. Pray together. Bath together. Dialogue.
Communicate together.
Dialogue. I always dialogue with my husband. I don't keep quiet. If he does something I don't like, I will let him know. Call him, I will let him know. If he offends me, I will let him know. I I see nothing wrong in saying sorry. I say sorry all the time so that we can have peace. That keeps us going.
All right. So Daddy, on this journey, this 50 years, we're going to round up now. In this 50 years journey, is there something, if you look at everything that happened, and I'm going to ask Mommy the question too, is there anything you wish you would love to do differently? Is there anything that you would have done differently?
See, Saint Augustine said, there is no sin without the past, and there is no sinner without the future. If you go biblically to that statement, David in the Bible was a fornicator and a murderer. But in the whole book of the Psalm, he wrote many Psalms, over 70 Psalms that he wrote. And he knows how to praise God. And God called him a person in my heart. And at the same time, I say there is no saint without the future. At the cross of Calvary in the Bible, the thief on the right was confessing his wrongdoing on the cross. And Jesus said, today you will be with me in paradise. I'm saying this to let you know that there's nobody who's pure. We are all sinners. The Bible says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. The only thing is patience, endurance, long suffering, and prayer to God.
Wow. Wow. Mommy, do you want to say something about that? What do you think you would have done differently?
If I could do it all over again, there's
Yeah,
nothing I would do differently. There's nothing.
because you have done everything.
I've done it. I've done everything.
Mm. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daddy, for sharing. I don't think there is a need to ask how you feel about this incredible journey. It's 50 years. I don't know. I don't know. Do you have something to say? How do you feel? It's obvious that you guys are happy. But mommy, how do you feel about reaching this milestone of 50 years in marriage?
I'm happy that we are together till today.
Thank you so much. Mommy is happy that they are together till today, even with daddy's shenanigans, because daddy is so vulnerable. Daddy, I like you. I like the fact that, and this, I think I'm going to invite daddy to men's meeting alone. And it is going to be only men in the room to say, Daddy, come and talk to these guys. They need to hear from people like Daddy said it. Daddy said, there's no saint without a past. And there's no sinner without a future. For every sinner, there is still future for them. In fact, that's why some people like Donald Trump are still alive. And they still have future, and they can still say they want to become president of the United States of America. You know, after all the counts that they have tied around him in court this year, he still came out to say he wants to be the president of the United States of America. There's no sinner without a future. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room, this is to say that whatever it is you're going through, if you can allow peace, show love, long suffering, perseverance. You know, this battle that we are fighting, male, female, husband, wife, this battle, some people have gone through it for 50 years. And they are still telling us that, yeah, they went through the same thing we are going through, and we want to throw the towel. They have gone through it and they were able to sustain it. And if they can do it, we all can do it. That is what they are telling us. If they can do it with their differences, with their foolishness, with their stupidity, if they can do it, then we all can do it. Thank you once again. And guys, I was expecting us to celebrate Daddy and Mommy in the chat session. Can we celebrate and appreciate them for this beautiful, beautiful, awesome moment? Yeah, Mommy says she won't change anything, that she has put in her whole, all her essence, she invested into this. No wonder she's been celebrated today. And the last thing I will want to do is, Daddy, I want you to hug this mommy for me. Just hug her and tell her thank you for her patience. Oh, this is so beautiful. At this point, I want to, this is not part of the script, but I want to bring Coco. Coco, are you the only one? Koide, are you the only one? Are you the only child in this meeting? Or do you have other siblings? I think I saw Lade. Is Lade your sibling?
Yes, Lade is my sibling. Lulu is my sibling. Alexander is my sibling.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, please let me see your faces. Admin, please spotlight this name. Do I still have the admin on the show? Yeah, admin. So there is Lade, there's Alexandra. Please bring them on. Bring them on. And there's who? Lolu.
Lolu.
Lulu is
Lolu is on the show.
Omolara is there.
Tosin and Lade.
Please.
Yeah, and I have Lara, my sister. We're 5.
Admin. Oh yeah, they're 5. They're 5. Admin. Okay, I can see Lolu. I can see Lade's camera is on. Hi, Lade. Good evening. Hi, Lolu. How are you? There's Alexander. Admin, please look for Alexander. Oh, this is so beautiful. Can somebody snap this? This is so beautiful. Yes, Where's Alexander? Admin, this
He's probably on the road.
This your
This is Lade's wife. Lade stepped out for a minute.
okay, this is Lade's wife.
My name is Tosin, though. And I'm still mommy and daddy. I'm their daughter too.
So you guys are already doing loving movie like mommy and daddy. Interesting. I celebrate you all.
Thank you.
Sandra, Lade, Lulu, Coco, I celebrate you all. Thank you for giving daddy and mommy so much peace. And can Coco, do you want to say something? Just say something about your parents. So this is another way of celebrating their 50th, and I'm giving you this platform to celebrate them.
Watching them all these years has been very interesting. And yes, we've learned a lot from them. Every now and then we have something to learn from them. Their marriage is beautiful. It's really beautiful. And like mommy said, always show love. She tells us every now and then, always show love. So we know that's a slogan. So we try to abide by the values that it instilled in us. And, we're married, all of us are, and we're doing well, like they've been saying, we're doing well. And we try to take care of them. We do all we can to take care of them. We're watching them. We're also learning. I'll also be 13 years by next week, 13 years in my marriage. Oh, and I've learned a lot from them. Alex. I still have a long way to go. I'm growing as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. And, when we go for Wake Keep, and they say people should come and talk, we always talk about the beautiful things that people does when they are gone. For your parents to be here and you're celebrating them to say everything they said were true. This is so awesome. This is so awesome.
I mean, we're really glad that they're here with us. 50 years is no joke. We're glad that we're experiencing this with them. We're on this journey with them. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing mommy and daddy with us this evening. Lade. Hello, Lade. Good evening. We saw your wife.
Yes, Alex. Alex.
Yeah. Good to see you. So do you have something to say about mommy and daddy? And you want to do shout outs or something?
Firstly, I'm quite grateful and thank you. You've done a very fantastic job. To be honest, it's a privilege. I haven't seen this being done, but I'm really happy that they are alive, celebrating. We've been looking forward to this day together, and we planned. We had different ideas of how they would celebrate the milestone, but they chose to just, be back home in Nigeria and, be with the rest of the family out there. And like my sister said, there's a lot that we've learned from them. The interaction they have, the love they share. Like my mom's slogan, like she rightly said, is show love. So I was still telling my wife that at some point, mom is going to say that, and she did. So I'm not surprised. I'm not disappointed. I've enjoyed the conversation. There are some things they both said that I just heard for the first time today. A lot we've heard in the past, and I and my siblings do emulate most of the things that they have been doing. Watching the way they are with each other, the mutual respect, the way they raised us, the way they are to each other. Like I tell my wife that up until today, my parents eat together. Do you get? And that's not just love, it's friendship, it's a lot of other things in that too. So I'm glad that we have people we can model after, people we can look up to, and they've been the prime example and role models for us in this journey of marriage. So this year I'm going to be 10 years married too, and a lot of things I learned from them. And when they talk about patience and acceptance and all this, they go a long way. If you see how they've handled those issues, because issues do happen and issues cannot really be avoided. It's just the wisdom to manage it accordingly. And, I believe two cannot go on a journey unless they agree. So these are some of the things that we've learned from them that we took with us. And I'm glad that they're sharing for many people. And yeah, thank you. It's been a very interesting conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lade, for sharing. And thank you for walking in that footstep, because it's not a common thing. So this is like an uncommon grace, and this is beautiful. This is
It is, it is,
beautiful.
it is. We're grateful. We're grateful.
Thank you so much. Alexander, do you want to say something?
Uh, you know, not much really. Hi, come, Santa, come here. This is my son, their first grandbaby. Say hello.
Oh,
We're in New York. So listen, I'm excited to get in and out of this conversation. I think we're just fortunate really to have role models as parents. Those are my babies, my dad and my mom. Those are my babies. I love them. They know that. And at the end of the day, it's alignment when it comes to relationships and marriage. My brother alluded to that a couple of minutes ago. You can't go somewhere if one person wants to go a different direction. So it's all about alignment. And I think me and my siblings have followed through and adapting to all the things that we saw and the things that they teach us. My mom's done a fantastic job. She's like a quiet lion. She's the shy one in the relationship. But she's also a great mother, and we couldn't ask for anybody else to be our parent. So at the end of the day, we're blessed, and we celebrate them every moment that we have. Thank you for this. I like the gist, Daddy. I didn't know all these things you were saying. I was like, copy, but but it's been exciting just to hear them, I guess talk about their story. So thank you for this opportunity. I don't know if you could hear me. Seems like it's breaking.
thank you, Alexander. Thank you for sharing your parents with us this evening. Okay, so
Absolutely.
Lulu, are you there? Lulu, do you want to say something? I think his camera is out. So you can see Buki saying, I'm smiling broadly. You see, because I'm anchoring, I would have, inside me, I'm screaming like, I'm so proud of this family, and I'm so happy that we have a family to showcase to the world. This is going to be saved on our YouTube channel, and a lot of people will watch this after this show. Initially, we had about 50 something people on the show, and this is the kind of thing we want on our social media handles. This is the kind of things we want to showcase to the world, to say family works. And for every couple, every family represented in the house, family works. Can you see when they say, and the children surround your table? This is it. Daddy and mommy are experiencing it live. The children surrounding and celebrating their parents. Please, we don't want to raise children that will be stigmatized. We don't want to raise children that will not be happy. We want to be happy in our old age. And we should build this, we should start it, we should cultivate this kind of relationship. It is possible. If Captain and Mrs. Ore can do it, they're able to raise children who are also doing it. Imagine if all 35 of us in this room decide to go on this journey in patience, in long suffering, in perseverance, knowing that at the end of it, we are going to enjoy our old age, because this is all we are doing. This is all we are running, our old age. Our old age is very important. These parents are so happy, and it is because they sow the seed. And so we need to walk the walk. Daddy said it. We need to put in our efforts. We need to compromise where there is a need to compromise. We need to be tolerant. We need to be patient. We need to, we need to listen, apologize, pay attention to little details, and forgive foolishness, ignore stupidity, right? Daddy said some cogent points. I'm going to put them together and share on social media tomorrow, so that we can run our lives with those points. Very important. Now we have Lulu. Lulu's camera is on. Lulu, hi Lulu. How are you? You want to say something? You want to do shout out to daddy? You want to say something beautiful to daddy and mommy and about them?
Hi everyone, good evening, and
Good
thanks for
evening.
this opportunity. Basically, my siblings have said everything I could say. Right, I'm just happy that I have both of them alive to today, and they're very, very, very important to my life. I love both of them they're just sitting down right here. So, I don't know what to say actually, but I'm just grateful.
Oh, thank you so much, Lulu. Thank you so much for taking the pain to help them do the setup and staying with them all through. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Coco, should I say that it seems Lulu takes after mommy, the quietness, the shyness, kinda?
Well, maybe it's mommy's baby.
I get it, right?
Yeah.
That is, I can see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Coco once again for this privilege to meet your family. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Daddy and Mommy. Guys, how are you feeling? Can you see scriptures being fulfilled here? I'm sorry, I'm talking about the scripture because we have Muslims in the room, but can you see when we say our old age, this is what we desire, this is what we look forward to? Can you see it happening? This is so inspiring. Somebody is saying, please, let's put in the work into making our marriages work. Let's put in the work in living peaceful lives. Let's put in the work. There's no need to strive. There's no need to suffer ourselves. There's no need to cause ourselves pain. Let's put in the work. Please, can we celebrate? Can we celebrate Captain and Mrs. Ore once again? Let's celebrate them. I want to see the chat box buzzing. Let's thank them. This is like 2 hours that we have these people seated here. Let's thank them. Let's appreciate them. Guys, let's thank them. Let's appreciate them. And if you want, yeah, see the beautiful family portrait. Isn't this beautiful? Thank you, admin, for sharing. Oh, this is so sweet, so heartwarming, right? I am not seeing it. Who are the people? This is awesome, right? Yeah, thank you so much. It's so nice. Let's celebrate this family, guys. Let's celebrate this family. Thank you so much, admin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I celebrate your spouses too for giving you the peace of mind. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. With this, we come to the end of family meeting, the August edition. Next month, we're going to be talking about parenting. I'm going to bring another couple who will come and share how they parent and raise their children outside the country. It's going to be another interesting conversation about the family. Please, if you want to do your marital checkup, I just shared the link. I'm sharing the link in the chat for marital checkup. You want to do your marital checkup, please click on that link and reach out to me via WhatsApp. Admin, please drop the office number. And if you want to talk, you feel you want to say something, you want to talk about your family, you need help, that's my WhatsApp number. You can also reach me on this number, or the admin, you can call that number. That's the number the admin has dropped. But my number is via WhatsApp. And with this, we come to the end of the family meeting August edition. Thank you once again, Daddy and Mommy Ore. I don't know if you have the last word, you want to share something, last word, you have something to say. This recording will be on YouTube. Admin, please drop the link to the YouTube so that people can rewatch and share with their family members. Daddy and Mommy, do you have something to say as we round up?
Well, just thank you very much. Such a beautiful looking lady. We bring and brought. We thank God. God will guide you too. I will review that you are going to celebrate 50 years of marriage.
Amen.
By the grace of God.
Amen. Amen.
Let's pray for others to follow good examples and be godly rather than being religious. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of the weekend. And guys, the link to the YouTube has been dropped. You can share with your family and friends. Please, these are the kind of things that should be going viral on our social media. Enough of negativity about relationship, about marriage. I intentionally ask that we bring the children so that you see them and it will inspire us to say, yes, marriages still work. It only takes watering our grass to make it greener. Thank you, everyone, and bye bye.